Welcome back, viewers, to latest researches and news. Breaking developments today. 3 major updates from the front lines. Firstly, I will update you about intense battle in the Domot area of Gojam. Fano forces claim a crushing defeat of Ethiopian Federal Forces, soldiers captured, heavy weapons seized, and the INDEF's advance stopped cold. Secondly, the Ethiopian government's counterclaim, they say they won. But where is the proof? And in the last bout inside Tigray, Tigray People Liberation Front is mobilizing its people. Mass gatherings, senior officials speaking, one message: unity and resistance. And at the end of today's video, we will show you footage of captured Ethiopian government soldiers. Stay with us until the end. Viewers, the war in Amhara is escalating, and the Ethiopian federal government's attempt to crush Fano in Gojam has met a response it did not expect. We have reports from credible sources on the ground. We have claims from both sides. And we have footage that the Ethiopian government cannot explain away. Viewers' reports reaching us from credible sources on the ground confirm that intense fighting has erupted in the Domot area of Gojam between Fano resistance forces and the Ethiopian National Defense Force. This was not a minor skirmish. This was a full military operation launched by the federal government using heavy weaponry, Air Force assets, and drone strikes attempting to advance into the Domot area and assert control. And the federal government did not come quietly. Reports confirm that Ethiopian regime forces indiscriminately shelled civilian areas during this operation. Homes, communities, non-combatants caught in the crossfire of a military that is growing more desperate by the day. This is a pattern we have documented again and again. When the ENF cannot defeat Fano in direct combat, it punishes the civilian population. It bombs villages. It cuts roads. It makes life unbearable for ordinary people who have nothing to do with military operations. That is not counterinsurgency. That is collective punishment. And it is a war crime. From Fano sources and from videos now in circulation here is what is being claimed about the outcome of this battle. Fano forces launched heavy counterattacks against the advancing NF units. The federal military's push into Domant was stopped, not slowed, stopped. The claims from Fano's side are significant. A large number of Ethiopian government soldiers have been captured, alive in Fano's hands. Multiple heavy weapons and significant quantities of war ammunition have been seized by Fano fighters, weapons that the NDF brought to crush the resistance, now in the hands of the resistance itself. Ethiopian government soldiers have been killed in the fighting. Others are confirmed wounded. Videos have been shared from Fano and allied sources showing wounded Ethiopian soldiers and captured government fighters. We have received some of this footage. Out of respect for the wounded and in compliance with platform policies on graphic content, we will not show footage of injured soldiers in this video. However, footage of captured Ethiopian government soldiers will be shown at the end of this video. Stay until the end. Now, to be fair and accurate, the Ethiopian National Defense Force has also issued its own claim. The NDF says it defeated Fano and its allies in Gojam. It says the operation was a success. But here's what is missing: evidence. No verified visuals. No geolocated footage. No independent confirmation. Just a statement issued by the same government that ran a propaganda campaign about Tigray Mewe while hiding a defeat at Komuk. We have seen this before. When the federal government wins, it shows you footage. When it loses, it issues a press release. Fano, on the other hand, has released videos. The images speak for themselves. We are not asking you to take anyone's word blindly. We are asking you to look at what is being shown and what is not being shown, and draw your own conclusions. Who has the footage? Who has the captured soldiers? Who has the seized weapons? Meanwhile, across the border in Tigray, something equally significant is happening on the political and military mobilization front. In multiple locations across Tigray, mass gatherings have been organized, communities brought together, and senior Tigray People Liberation Front officials have been delivering speeches direct, serious, urgent. The message being delivered at every one of these gatherings is the same: the enemy is at the gates. The struggle is not over, it is entering a new and more critical phase. And Tigray can only survive this moment if every person, every man, every woman, every family stands together as one. These are not campaign rallies. These are war councils. Tigray People Liberation Front officials are not asking for votes. They are asking for commitment. They are asking for sacrifice. And the people of Tigray, who have already given more than any people should ever have to give, are being asked to give again. Why is this mobilization happening now? Because the Tigray People Liberation Front sees what is coming. Federal forces are massing at Tigray's borders. The economic siege is tightening. The Pretoria Agreement is dead. And the window for a political solution, if it ever existed, has closed. The Tigray People Liberation Front's message to its people is clear. We cannot wait for the enemy to come to us. We must be ready together to face what is coming. And the people in those gatherings, they are listening. They are nodding. They have heard this before in 2020. When federal forces came from the south and Eritrea came from the north, they survived that. They rebuilt. And they are preparing to survive again. Let's bring today's reports together. In Gojam's Damot area, the Ethiopian Federal Military launched a major operation using heavy weapons, air power, and drones, and shelled civilian areas in the process. Fano responded with force. Soldiers have been captured. Weapons have been seized. The advance has been stopped. The federal government claims victory but offers no proof. Fano has footage. The footage tells the story. And Tigray TPLF officials are rallying their people, preparing them for the fight that is coming. The message is unity. The message is resistance. The message is we have no choice but to stand together. The Prosperity Party government of Abiy Ahmed is fighting Fano in Amhara. It is fighting the TPLF in Tigray. It is managing a proxy war in Sudan. It is losing ground on every front and responding by bombing civilian areas. That is not the behavior of a government that is winning. That is the behavior of a government that is afraid. Now, as promised, we will show you footage of captured Ethiopian government soldiers from the Damot battle.